Hey, good morning, everyone, and thanks for waking up with me. So, I'm about to head out to an early job, so I thought I'd catch a video real quick before I go out. And it's still dark outside, so pardon my improvised studio here. But I checked in on social media before I walked out the door, and came across an article that was posted by somebody that I gotta admit, it kind of nails the way I'm feeling right now. And and I thought I'd share it with you. So pardon me while I read here. So this was posted by a man named Paul Field. This was captured and reposted, so it's been reposted over and over. He's not a friend of mine. I don't know who Paul is. I don't know what his politics are. I don't know who he speaks for, or any of that stuff. So if you happen to know him, if he's out there in a way that I don't know about, well then enlighten me if you'd like. But the sentiments that he's posted in this particular comment, I kind of agree with. So let me read it to you real quick and get your feedback on it. So, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but you need to know how silly you look if you post some variation of "Welcome to Socialism." You're not seeing socialism. What you're seeing is one of the wealthiest, geographically advantaged, productive, capitalistic societies in the world flounder and fail at its most basic test, taking care of its people. The crisis is about the massive failure of our booming economy to survive even on modest challenges. It's about the market dissonance of shortages in stores, even as farmers, producers destroy unused crops and products. This crisis is about huge corporations needing an emergency bailout within days of the longest bull market in our history ending, and despite the ability to borrow with 0% interest rates, they're looking for handouts. I added that. This crisis is about corporatized healthcare systems being unable and ill-equipped. This crisis is about corporatized healthcare systems being unable and ill-equipped to provide basic healthcare at the same time they post record profits. It's about the crisis response depending on antiquated systems nobody remembers how to operate. But most of all, this crisis is a direct result of the politicization of every aspect of our society for the benefit of a privileged few. The vilification of education, science, media, natural rights, rural lifestyles, urban lifestyles, charity, compassion, and virtually everything else for a brief political gain has gutted our society. Some of you are going to be offended by that comment. The irony is some of you are going to say that's a very liberal thing to say, and I don't think he's probably liberal, to be honest with you, because maybe he is. But I know that similar comments were made by conservatives not that long ago. And this past weekend, I had a little bit of back and forth with a family member of mine, who I know to be conservative, more so than I am. More so than I am because I'm probably liberal. And that's going to be another video, which I'll be posting very soon. And we're going to break down the definition of liberal. But to this point today, the thing is, we're not really that different, conservatives and liberals. In reality, we all want a place to call our own, whether it's rented or owned. We want a place to have home. We have a place to go back to. We'd like to have access to food and opportunity to take care of our families and to take care of ourselves and to improve ourselves. Many of us desire an education of some sort, whether it's a formal education at a university or whether it's self-study, self-paced, whatever it is. We want to learn, we want to know things, we want to share things, we want to be loved, we want to be cared for, we want to be able to just play the same things. And yet, for some reason, we seem to be stuck on this, whether or not you're a Republican or a Democrat or a conservative or a liberal or whatever this fight's about. And that seems to have separated our way from how we're going to get proper response to so many things in our world. This COVID thing is one of them. The responses to the riots, to the protests that have turned into riots because of simple things that could have been resolved, I think, very early on, quite frankly. When this all spun out of control over a cop misbehaving and killing a suspect that was taken into custody and exercising bad judgment. From what I understand, had a history of this kind of thing. He should have been caught. He should have been called out. He should have been off the force a long time before. But he wasn't, because he wasn't being held accountable. And we have issues with the police departments. We have problems that need to be resolved. Now, George Floyd was not a good guy. Let's face it. He had a record as longer than my arm, and he was being arrested for passing a fake 20, which I don't know that that's contested. I've heard also that he was potentially under the influence of drugs and a few other things, but that's not the point. The point is that's none of that meant that he should die. And so now we have protests over that. And, and it's because of the systemic racism that we have in our country and so all these other things. And, that falls on both sides of the coin. It's not about the conservatives doing it. It's not about the liberals, crying about it and being, tree hugging, little wimps and all these other things I hear about all the time. It's about people trying to be people. And I don't know why we have to stand on separate sides of the fence. Why don't we stand together? You patriots out there, you want to call yourself a patriot. Well, let's remember, you're supposedly a patriot of the United States of America, not of the individuals of this country. You're supposed to be standing for the more perfect union. Sound familiar? Maybe you should read it. So if my tone's a little different today, yeah, damn right. I'm pissed on a daily basis about the idiocracy of what we've become instead of the democracy. And there's no end in sight at the moment. And there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. We are better than this. And so often in the past, when we have problems, when we have issues, when there's a challenge that faces this country, we band together and we fight it together. And, we may not agree on the approach, but we at least try to deal with it together as a country, as a United States of America. That's what we have represented to the entire world for many, many years. And right now we are failing miserably at showing that we were united. It's showing that we care about our own. I don't get it. That's my thought for the day. If I inspire you to think, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Push that bell also so you'll get notified the next time I come up here and hear my next rant. You guys try to have a good day. I care about you. I want us all to pull together and turn this nation back around to what we used to be. This whole movement we've had the last 3.5 years of Make America Great Again is not great. It's not great. It's not great at all right now. There is fighting in the streets. There are people dying in the hospitals. There is a lack of medical care. There's a lack of compassion from the entire Congress, from all our leadership. There's just a complete lack of unity, and we need to overcome that. And it's not going to come from the top down. It's going to have to start from the bottom up. That's my thought for the day. I'll talk to you guys soon.